YouTube, Quinn Wade coming to y'all with some basketball analysis on what to expect from the San Antonio Spurs. Now, this is a team that's going to be having a lot of excitement because of Victor Wembanyama. He was Rookie of the Year, averaging 21 and 10 rebounds, and was also in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation, and finished as an All NBA defender, all just in his rookie season. But the Spurs only won 22 and lost 60 games. They was on a 2-game win streak when the season was over. Even then, they were still one of the worst teams in the entire NBA, and they finished last in the Southwest standings, and that's something that's troublesome. But they added a player this year that has added winning and has added dominance to every team has been a part of. And I think that this will continually be the trend because he has a good IQ of how to play the game, how to get the best out of his teammates, and how to put them in positions to succeed, how to take over games, how to make plays. And his name is Christopher Emmanuel Paul. This guy is probably going to be the shortest player on the court still to this day, but he gets it done. He's a top 75 player, and he knows what he's supposed to do on and off the court to be prepared and to help his teammates be prepared for a long, grueling season and hopefully a great playoffs. But what I expect from the San Antonio Spurs is just growth and development. Just getting their young players, figuring out who they want to build around, who they want to keep, who they want to put on a trading block. And I think that also getting the best out of Victor, who's already one of the best players in the league, getting him easier, more open opportunities instead of him having to dribble and try to do so much on trying to create his own shot. Just make it a lot easier for him to score and put him in situations where he don't have to extend and expand more energy just to be able to put the ball on the put the ball in the basket. Plus, he has to play a long period of time defensively because they're going to need him for that reason too. So it's just about doing right by Victor, keeping them healthy by not using them as much and needing them as much, and making some of these guys carry their weight. And I think that Christopher Emmanuel Paul will allow them to do that and put things in order and stack the deck for them to be a great team. And it'll help them even be more prepared for a longer season. As some of these guys are so young, they're not used to playing a lot of times. And another intellectual type of player is Harrison Barnes. He's going to stay out the way. He's going to make shots. He's going to make plays. He's going to keep the ball moving. And he's going to be able to knock down corner threes. And he's going to give Wemby and Chris Paul that space that they need to operate in the pick and roll or the pick and pop. And I think that that will make less movement. Less movement means more energy stored. More energy stored means the more you can play great defensively. And if this team can, to step their offense and their defense up with the additions that they have added to this team, I think that that makes them a better team, and that makes them a 30 to 40 win team, and that puts them in the conversation for the play-in tournament. And I think that that will be deemed as a successful season if they're able to do it. But when you look at some of these young players like the Charles Bassey, you look at Stephon Castle, you look at Malachi Brannon, you look at Julian Champagnie, you look at City, you look at Zach Collins. These guys are going to have to show if they're keepable, reliable, can be difference makers, or even if they can crack the rotation. That will be something that will impress, us as people that's watching this team, and see if we can see this team actually having enough talent to be able to win in the tough, grueling Western Conference. But these guys have all played at a high level. These guys have all showed that they can put the ball in the basket at some point. They just got to have somebody that can make it easier. And when you have a guy like, Wembyama setting the screen and rolling to the basket, it takes a lot of tension off you. It takes a lot of pressure off you, especially because he's the guy that you're going to run most of your offense through besides Chris Paul. And then it just becomes, can you stop this team? Can you defend what they're doing? And if you can't, then these guys will be the ones that's firstly getting the easy opportunities. They just have to finish the play by trying to put the ball in the basket at an efficient level, because they're going to get quality looks because of that. And I think that that's interesting. But Zach Collins, a big body, can spread the floor as a center, can protect the paint decently, and he can also be a solid free throw shooter. You got to look at the fact that they still have other guys on his roster like Keldon Johnson, who showed that he can get 20 points a game in a regular season environment, and he's showing that he is one of the best guards that they still have under this roster and under the tutelage of Greg Popovich. But this guy can make shots. This guy is a guy that just need more of a killer instinct in him. Just need more of a guy. This guy needs more confidence in himself to be able to take another step offensively. And I think that if he can do that and be more aggressive and feel like he can be a bigger part of this team, I think that's a step forward that I would like to see them take with Keldon. Because if this is the best you have, you need them playing at another level if you want them to, accumulate more wins. And then you look at the fact that they have Jeremy Sohan. He's not the greatest offensive player, but if you put him in screen setting situations and some role situations and keeping him near the rim until he can develop a mid-range shot or a three-point shot, then you have to find a way to keep him out the way because he's not really an offensive weapon. He's just a defensive player that has a lot of effort. And if he can rebound better and he can play better defense, and if he can help, Wembanyama on the interior a little bit, I think that would be something that they would need, to be better defensively too. And I think he would not be as devastating offensively if he just learned a few small moves here and there and added a little bit more to his handle, to make it even easier on himself. I think that would be something that will really help the Spurs, go to another level. Devin Vassell, he's really good. He ended up being shorter than people thought. They thought he was going to be a forward. He ended up being a guard because he's only 6'5", but he's a guy that has shown in growth. He has shown improvement. He has the length. He has the quickness. He has the athleticism to be a transition threat, to be a guy that can knock down corner threes and top of the key threes. And he has also had shown that he can be a guy that can possibly be a ball handler, but he hasn't shown too much growth in that area, but that's something that he shows confidence that he can possibly do. He's only 24 years old, so he might as well try to add as much to the bag as he can just to be as great of a player as he can. And I think that that's something that he has to do. Trey Jones is another guy that a lot of people say we like. He's short, but he needs to learn some moves. He needs to learn some things that can up his IQ, his feel for the game, his touch for the game, and also up his ability to impact the game at a higher level, especially with a guy like Wembanyama. We need you to be making his job easier, and he making your job easier, and you have to see the floor a lot better. If you're a guy like Trey Jones, you have to handle the ball better, take care of the ball better, and you have to be able to make your teammates better and make their job and opportunities easier. He hasn't been able to do that at 24 years old, in the NBA, but I think Chris Paul can speed that up. And if they don't like what they see in Trey Jones, they can always give a lot more to up that responsibility to a guy like Stephon Castle, who has shown that he can make a difference and he can be a scorer. He can be able to handle the ball and do some things that's special, and that can be the guy they pass the torch to at the guard position, aka the point guard position, because they already have Devin Vassell and Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson to be able to hold down the perimeter. And I think that these guys lack a little bit of size, but they also make up with it with smarts. And I think that they can use that to more their advantage and be able to handle the ball a little bit more, create a little bit more. I think that will be something that will make this team take a leap, in the win column. But Blake Wesley is another guy. I don't really see him getting crazy amount of minutes because they have a lot of guards and a lot of wings already that's going to be eating up those minutes. Same with Sandro. Is he going to get a lot of playing time? No. But I do think that he'll be a guy that they're going to keep an eye out on in training camp. He's going to be a guy they're going to keep an eye out on during the regular season to see if he can possibly be a rotation player. Same thing with the Harrison Ingrams and the Malachi Flynn's and the David Duke Juniors. These are guys that they're just interested in seeing what they can do. Same with Riley Minix. He's going to be getting some opportunities in training camp to show what he can do and what he's about. But, this team already has their rotation and their starters figured out for the most part. Now it's just about how many guys are going to step up and really play hard and really play like they want it a lot. You got us a lot of these other guys that's just gonna be filling out the rotation just in case injuries happen or things, freakishly happen that they're not going to really be prepared for because you can't really prepare for it. You just have to, learn how to adjust and learn how to adapt and have that next man up mentality to be able to come in and figure out what you need to do and what the team needs you to do each and every time you step out on the court and need to see great performances or trying to play a great game. I think that that's all that these young players should be trying to figure out because most of these guys are going to be on this roster for 2 to 3 years. So, this is more of a guarantee than most teams will give you. But it just shows you that they're so depleted of actual talent that they have to make best with what they have. And I feel like they did that last year, and that's why they ended up being a 22 win team. And this year, people have higher expectations just because they have Chris Paul. And I think that he has shown that he can be a great mentor, a great player, and still be able to pass the torch humbly at the same time. And you just don't see that in star players. You just don't see that often. But he has been able to leave some type of taste or some type of impact on every team that he has have left, and he has been able to help them elevate their game and elevate their style of play and elevate their record. And I think that this will be no different. He is a guy that has it all figured out and has a proper understanding how to play the game the right way, even as a guard. And I just hope that Victor soaks up as much information and as much knowledge as he can from Chris Paul, just because that's what he's going to need to be a great player for the next 10 plus years. So they got the guy they can build around. They got the foundation. They got the idea of how they want to play. They have the idea of what they want to do defensively. Now it's just about getting the players that you need to execute this vision, execute the schemes, perfectively. We know what Greg Popovich is capable of doing. We know what RC Buford is capable of doing when it comes to redoing his roster and also using guys, to develop into what they need them to be. We done seen them do it with other players, trading for them or drafting these guys and helping them reach their full maximum potential or close to it with their coaching staff and their assistant coaching staff. And that's where I think this season will be. Let's try some more things. Let's do some more things. Let's put you in some different situations. And let's make the game a little bit more easier for you, more comfortable for you. And then let's continue to build upon that. And I think that that's the type of season that we're going to see the San Antonio Spurs have more than them being a playoff team legitly. I think they're going to be in a conversation. I think they're going to have a chance. They're going to be in that play-in type of style. But can they develop for multiple years to come is more important than making the playoffs right away. And I think that that's what they need to have in the back of their mind. How do we get the team as a whole to really use Wembanyama right? But other than that, we need other guys to step up too, and we need to know who those guys will be because the numbers still show me they missing a couple more great players to really be taken serious as a championship contender. But we know how good RC Buford is at the front office of making those moves and making those decisions, even if he has to draft those guys and build them from the draft like he did with Tony, Ginobili, and Duncan and David Robinson. You draft the number one guy, and then you put those pieces around them as fast, as quick as you can. And then it's just about, do they like each other? Do they get along with each other? Can they play with each other? And can they, be elite team together? And I feel like this team is going through those trials these first 2 seasons. Then year 3, our goal should be let's make the playoffs because we have enough, because of the buyout, because of free agency, because of the draft, to be able to build a confident team around Victor Wembanyama. And that's just what I feel like, telling y'all. And I feel like it's true. So what to expect, playing caliber team, and for Wembanyama to be more dominant and for his teammates to be picked and choose of who's going to stay on the roster with them and who they need to move around or use as a trade asset to get the guys that he needs to execute as a team built around him, and how that style will be something everybody look forward to watching to see. How do you win with Victor? What do you need to do? What type of talent you need to put around him? What type of defense you need to put around him? What type of offense you need to build with them? that's what these first two seasons going to be about. In the third season is how do we make a playoff run with Victor, early in his career. The guy's only 20 years old, so he don't have to rush, his growth and development. Let him learn his lessons, let him learn through his mistakes, let him learn the game of basketball as long as it takes, because he has so many more years if he stays healthy to be dominant. So just take it slow and, let him soak up as much information so he can be dominant. Like he's been everywhere in every level, including NBA level so far on both ends of the court. So we know what he's capable of. Now let's see what the team can be around him, and we got to see how we get those pieces too. So this is a trial and error season for them. Other than that, comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell for more analysis on the regular season, playoffs, breakdowns, tributes. If you're new to the channel, it's a lot of analysis that I do on this channel. This is the home of and the birth of analysis. I set that same foundation to be a franchise, to be a brand, and I have been able to build that on this channel. So if you want to be a part of this, I have so many videos just like this and other type of videos to keep the conversations going for 365, basically around the league and around the year of basketball. So if you're new to the channel, check out my older videos too. And if you've still been subscribed, you may miss something because I upload frequently, or you might thought about something you wanted to see but you forgot. I'm just here to remind you, it's still on the page, it's still on the channel. So still check out those videos and still like them, still continue to share them, and continue to keep this channel popular, popping, and continue to keep it around. It's been 10 plus years since I've been making content, and it's fun that you guys are still interested. It's fun that you guys still look forward to it. So make sure you keep spreading the information of this channel if you really enjoy it, so they can enjoy it just as much as you. And you might have conversations about what I talk about amongst the people that you see that more than me, and then it can still be fun for them too. They look forward to it, you look forward to it, I get something out of it, y'all get something out of it. It's all fun anyway, and I think that we need to continue to have that on this channel, and that's what I continue to do for the most part. So fun debates, fun conversation, fun breakdowns, fun analysis, all rolled in one, plus more to come. And I don't see nobody doing it as close as this one. I'm gone. Have a good day.